This is a podcast.
I'd love to see one of these NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, get that son of a bitch off the field right now, out. He's fired. He's fired!
You are rocking with the best. Rocking with the welcome to the best. Rocking with the best. Rocking with the welcome to the best. Rocking with the best.
Welcome to the best 1 hour of your week. My name is Tyler Butler. This is to the right is my right hand man, Josh Smith. You are now rocking with the best, which is enough with the BS podcast. Thank you as always for tuning in, whether it's on the Spreaker app, TuneIn Radio, iTunes, or Google Play. And shout out to my podcast family over there at Doug Stewart Radio, aka the X Squid Eye. This is going to be a jam-packed podcast, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to address, President of the United States. I'm sure he probably hates us by now. I haven't got a tweet yet. Maybe it's coming. Maybe that's our goal, Jay. See if we can get a tweet from the POTUS, man.
You're going to have to go on there and troll them, though, first.
Maybe that's what we have to do.
That's what we got to do.
But yeah, we're going to also talk about players' reaction to what he had to say. And the latest from the NBA with all these trades. Let's get into that first before we even talk about the President of the United States and all the... I don't even want to use the word.
No Secret Service problems over here.
Effery that's going around with him in sports. But let's get the sports side out first. In the NBA, guys... Of course, there were two major trades that went down from the last podcast that we did. Kyrie Irving, of course, they made it official. He is now in Boston Celtic. But Kyrie went on First Take. And I don't have the soundbite. I don't know. Maybe you can look it up on YouTube. But Kyrie was typical Kyrie. Now, we did a mock interview with Kyrie.
It was spot on.
Way before First Take. And it was so accurate. I got email. Why you guys making Kyrie look like a douche? Is he that bad?
Yeah.
Did you see the interview? My God, he destroyed Max Kellerman.
Kyrie's full of himself.
It was straight destruction of what he did to Max Kellerman. We're going to try to get you guys a soundbite. I mean, that's really not that important. But, Jay, some of the points I want to bring up about what he said on First Take.
Yeah.
Which we already pointed this out, but for some reason the rest of America couldn't figure this out. Stephen A. asked Kyrie, did he feel the need that he should have told LeBron that he wanted a trade, and Kyrie was like,
no. Why would I?
Plain and simple.
It's not my dad.
Plain and simple. And people looking at him sideways like, come on, Kyrie, This is LeBron. You got to alert him for what?
Exactly.
When did LeBron become the general manager of the Cleveland Cavaliers? I know he's what's the word? An acting general manager?
Something like that.
General manager in training?
Assistant GM.
Yeah, assistant GM, something of that nature. But I think we got it now.
We got a little
Guys, we got a little snippet
of
the Kyrie Irving interview on First Take. I'm going to pause the music. See if you can up the volume on the laptop.
I don't want to try YouTube. No thanks. All right.
Yeah, and we're just going to play you guys a smidget of what Kyrie had to say on First Take. Right now, he's just walking out. This is pointless footage. YouTube. Oh, that is not.
No,
that's not it.
Not Kyrie.
I tell you what.
Yeah.
F the audio. We're going to talk about what.
We just have to talk about.
Yeah. So Kyrie, of course, was going off on Max Kellerman because Kellerman was a little critical of Kyrie play.
Very much so.
And he went off on him, saying, people criticize me saying that pretty much all I do is dribble, and, which is what we criticize him about all the time on the podcast. But Jay, listening to that interview, do you have a different mindset of Kyrie, or is he exactly what we made him out to be?
That's exactly what I thought he would be. I'm like, he was a little harsh, but then it's like, that. He's very Kobe-like. He's just
stoic,
dry. Yeah, stoic, dry. He's ready to prove someone wrong. He was ready to correct anyone at any time about anything.
Tell Max Kellerman to be a man.
Smirk on his face?
Yeah, he had a smirk
Max
the entire time.
Like, I can't wait to burn you. But yeah, this is exactly who we thought he was.
Yeah, so I say to you guys, you shouldn't be surprised. This is Kyrie Irving. He's a douche. He's a smart douche.
He is. He went to Duke, so that makes him very, very smart.
Yeah, we all know how smart those douchebags are over there at Duke.
Well, you guys don't go to class, so, hey.
But another big trade that happened in the NBA was the Carmelo Anthony trade. Melo finally got his bum ass out of New York. And he went to OKC.
Stop it with the Melo slander.
But people are acting like, Josh, that OKC is now the team to beat in the West.
I mean, how? Okay, at first initial reaction, it was like, oh my God, they got Kyrie, they got Russell, and they got Paul George. And then I talked to you, and then you was like...
They got Melo, Paul George.
Kyrie, Melo. Yeah, Melo, Paul George, and they got Russ.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow. And then I talked to you. You were like, and what else?
Okay.
Steven Adams and the Robert kid that plays defense but can't shoot a lick.
That's three people.
That's it. No bench whatsoever.
This team.
And Russ... I don't know if there's enough basketballs to go around.
It's a one-year All-Star team. Because next year, all three of them are going to be gone.
Yeah, none of them are staying.
Which leaves you with what, Oklahoma City?
You're going to have a one-way ticket to the 2019 NBA lottery.
It's going to be so harsh. And who's going to come to that game? I mean, it's in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
People were coming to see Durant. Now people are coming to see Westbrook.
Yeah.
People are not coming to see Steven Adams. What's that guy name who can't shoot? What's his name? Roberson? Andre Roberson.
Yeah.
And I couldn't tell you who's on their bench.
Yeah, no.
I don't even know who's left.
I think they got Patrick Patterson, if you're familiar with him.
Oh, my God. Patrick Patterson.
But yeah, it's not like, hey, let's put them up in they're going to be a 4 or 5 seed. I mean, at best.
At best. I feel you.
Yeah, the ball, Melo wants the ball. Russ wants the ball. Paul George wants the ball. I don't know if there's enough shots to go around.
I don't know if it's going to work, guys, but let's go ahead and dig into the show. I just wanted to quickly touch on that. I wanted to do things a little different on this podcast because that's what we do. That's what makes us Enough of the BS podcast. We're going to bring it to you real. It's going to be different, and it's going to be perspective. I don't know if you listened to the interview last night, Josh, but I did a 1-hour interview with Josh Phillips of ESPN Upstate, and I'm going to play a clip of that shortly, just a little bit. But to bring that different perspective, I thought it was perfect.
Okay.
Now, he's not a Trump supporter, but he's more of a Trump analysis or analyst.
Analyst, okay.
He doesn't defend him. But at the same time, he tries to make sense out of what Trump does from time to time.
All right.
And of course, most of America can't figure out what the hell is Trump doing. So I thought it would be perfect for the podcast. Now, of course, we didn't agree on all subjects, but that's what made the interview great.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a bunch of yelling back and forth and, hey, wait a minute, well, hold on now.
Well, that's what we like.
Hold on, I got something to say now. Now, you spoke. It's my turn.
Let me finish.
Wasn't none of that crap. He said what he had to say. I sat and listened. Then I would say what I have to say. And, of course, he sat and listened. But you guys you're about to listen to a little clip. You can listen to the full interview on Spreaker.com. I just listed it as interview one. It's part one of this two-part series podcast. This is me and Josh Phillips. It's about a 7-minute long clip, Jay.
Okay.
I asked him directly, do you think that players kneeling is disrespectful to the flag?
Okay.
And this was our conversation about that.
That made that happen. And what disheartens me is when I hear people wanting to diminish that, because it wasn't but in the 1990s before Tupac died, where he actually came out in one of his songs and said, we'll never see a black president. But the fact that we actually got to the point as a country to where all of us were okay and allowed this man to go and fulfill that role, see, to me, that kind of oppression isn't the right word. Now, if you want to say being treated unfairly, if you want to say that there are certain circumstances like you dealt with in Chicago where there was a double standard that needed to be addressed because it was a violation of the Constitution, in that regard, absolutely. I totally and unequivocally agree with that, and it's got to get fixed. But when I sit back and I look and I realize the people that have died, and even though, it seems to be that there's this, well, I have the right to say it. Well, yeah, you do, and those people went and died to give you that right. But at the same time, this is where I agree with Jim Brown, in that if you want to protest something, fine. There's a forum and there's a way in which to go do it. Muhammad Ali did it. He said, you know what, I'm not going to box for 3 years. I'm going to give up. I believe so strongly against the Vietnam War and what my country is doing to me that I'm going to give up the prime of my career. I'm going to give up millions of dollars that I would have made, and I'm going to go fight for what I believe in. If these football players believe that strongly, I would have no problem if they, like Jim Brown said, then go in and be an activist. Go fight for what you want to be. Give up your career. Go out and do it, because you can't in one stance say, I feel like I'm being oppressed, but at the same time, you're making $17 million a year in the same country that saying you're being oppressed in. Those two things just don't add up. And so when I look at the flag, I think that it's all of our responsibilities to respect the men that have died. People don't realize that over in the fight for our country, going all the way back from the Revolutionary War to the Civil War to the Korean War, World War I, World War II, over 3 million Americans, black, white, Hispanic, whatever, have died for our freedom. And for me, that demands our respect. And that demands that for that moment, that 5 moments, yes, America has had her problems. Yes, we have had our fights and our infightings, and we've got ways to go to get where we need to be. But at the same time, these people died for me, and they died for you. And I can put all of that political stuff aside and pay my respect to those people that died so that I could at least have a chance to make the best that I can make. And so, although they have the right to do it, I understand they have the right to do it, but I think there's a different way. I just don't think in that forum that's the stance to do it, because the red, white, and blue in the flag, that red means the blood of all the people that have died to give us our rights.
Right. Well, this is my rebuttal today. At first, initially, I was 100% with you, just by having family in the military, and of course, growing up in school. That is what you was told. This is what you're supposed to do. National anthem come up. You stand up. You take your hat off. You put your hand over your heart, and you respect those fallen soldiers. And for the majority of my life, that is what I thought. Point blank, period. That song come on, the flag drop, you show respect. But then, when they started kneeling, and I still thought the same thing. As soon as Cap did it, I was like, you know what? That's freaking disrespectful. Until I listened to him and realized why he was taking a knee. I don't think he was disrespecting the flag or the military at all. I think he was trying to bring attention, which is what these players are doing now, and it's working. The fact that we're actually having this conversation right now